Hey guys, welcome back to the Stream Space, or welcome if you've never been here before. We are gonna do this is welcome to our second pickup video. Now, we got a nice little stack here, and we're gonna go over some of the things we found over the last little while. We go to a variety of stores around the city, and these are kind of just what we'll do when we don't do a whole video on it. Now, Gaming Adventures, our next episode is basically going to be planned to be um, that's episode 2 of that, and we'll be going around the city to our primary haunts, all our favorite places. We will show you what they look like, all the stuff that we can typically get in them, providing they give us permission. That is a very important part if you are an aspiring YouTuber, or you're just getting started, or you want to get started. Please make sure you're getting permission to film in these people's establishments, because some of them may not appreciate it. And they may not be okay with it. And you got to respect that. It's their business. That's their livelihood. They built that up. So technically, when you walk into those doors, their rules go. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into this here stack. Here, we're talking some smack. Anyways, Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, I really liked this one. However, I mean, at first I didn't. I watched the movie going, oh, it's GoldenEye, it's GoldenEye, and like I was a kid, I was like 7 or 8 or something stupid like that, and I was like, it's not GoldenEye, and it doesn't, the game doesn't play like GoldenEye either, but it was a good follow up to GoldenEye. I mean, in its own way. So you had the skiing level, the general shooting. It had classic Bond weapons and gadgets and such, combat techniques. Tuck and roll, dive and fire, stealth attacks. I mean, it's part of a set. It's apparently not supposed to be for individual resale, but I can tell you right now, I didn't care about owning World Is Not Enough or 007 Racing. And because I own World Is Not Enough for the N64. Anyways. Star Wars Phantom Menace. Actually, I really didn't mind this game. I actually really liked it. I remember we rented it, and I really didn't want to give it back. I had a hard time getting to the level right before you get to the palace, like getting through it. As a kid, I just couldn't fricking do it. I don't know what it was. I get stuck. Nobody would help me. But I also didn't really have any friends that gamed the same games that I did, so they were all into the more common stuff. So like they were playing Mario and whatnot. Um, Beast Wars Transformers. This one is probably one of my favorite. I remember seeing it for the first time. When you watch the first episode of Animorphs, there's somebody playing a video game in one of the first few shots, and this is the game they're playing. And honestly, I thought that was super appropriate because they didn't have an Animorphs game at the time, and I mean, it would be kind of cheesy if they were playing their own game. I mean, they've made jokes about it in games like, or in movie games like Hitman game movies. Hitman, the first one, when he bursts through the hotel window, they are playing Blood Money. They're playing Hitman Blood Money. So this one's fun. You get to play as your standard fare. I mean, Cheetor, Optimus, Megatron. I think there's some Dinobot. There's 10 Transformer characters for each mission. And there's over 24 missions, so it's pretty solid. I'm actually pretty excited for that. And I guess you can play, because you would play either side of the mission. You could play the Decepticon side, or sorry, the Predacon side, or the what's it called, Maximals. Anyways, let's keep going. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. Honestly, I spent a lot more time on this as a kid than I should have. It's a nice, clean copy. No manuals, unfortunately, but you know what? That's not important to me on some of these games because I'm not collecting them to display them or put them on a shelf for other purposes other than for me to play them. I will be playing them. It doesn't matter if it has that manual or not. So completed box isn't that not that important. And the cards obviously weren't there, which they weren't that fantastic in the first place. Command and Conquer 3 for the 360. This is a really cool way to bring an RTS that is so beloved from from computer to PC, and I think it's what kind of helped make Halo Wars so good and so enjoyable, because they were able to kind of use that as a template. Right before EA, right before they just trashed the studio. Okay, Stranglehold, a sequel to John Woo's Hard Boiled, and you play as the same character. And it's great. It's like there's so much destruction that you can implement on the environment. They did a really good job with the destructible environments, and I really liked that. One of the last titles I think that we've really even seen from Midway in a long time. I don't even know if Midway does anything anymore. I haven't seen their emblem pop up in forever. Maybe I just don't play their stuff. But yeah, it's a shooter. I think it would have had some pretty good moments if they could have thrown in some like martial art combat or something like that. But they still make it fun. Good use of slow motion and dual wielding and destruction, and it's great. It's great. Guilty Gem here, Red Faction Guerrilla. A lot of people didn't like that they moved from first person to third person for this one, but I mean, it ended up working out when they added the kind of the GTA formula to it. So it was always really funny to order in your pickup truck, throw all the remote mines into the middle of it, plow it through the side of a building, and then get out, run away, and blow it up to finish the building off. Like there was no funnier way to take people out. And then obviously you had the God Hammer, which was a sledgehammer. And anything you hit with that, you could like take out entire tanks with that and vehicles. It was friggin' hilarious. Destroying entire buildings with one little tool. I mean, it was great. There was like limited stuff that you couldn't destroy. Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited to play that one again. I don't even remember. I remember finishing Red Faction Armageddon, but I don't remember ever finishing Guerrilla. So we very well might revisit that. Now this is one of a series of 3, but Need for Speed Undercover. So it was kind of like the third in the series that Most Wanted started, and it's hard to say if it was like an actual like sequel to those 2 games, to Carbon and Most Wanted, because Carbon is a sequel. You even start in the BMW. So this one I don't think was so much the case, but it was a good game. It had a decent story. It had live action actors, and I mean it was very much a knockoff Fast and Furious at that point, because they didn't have a Need for Speed movie yet, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I actually have it on several platforms because I do enjoy it that much. Need for Speed Carbon. So we're going backwards in the series. The next one, you guessed it, is Most Wanted. However, the reason these are special to me is these are all 3 of them are on 360. Now, Need for Speed Carbon, God, it was on fucking everything. It's on all your friends had. All your friends wanted to play it. All your friends wanted to race you. It introduced the wingman mechanics, so technically you had a funny way. If you could back up your wingman in such a fashion, if they happened to be faster than you, you could actually still win the race even if you weren't in first. So you had a higher chance of winning than you usually do. It also introduced auto sculpt, where you could literally shape different components of your body, of the car's body. That was always cool. And it had enhanced drift mechanics. So they played differently. I mean, I sucked at them at first, but eventually I got the hang of it. Now I'm actually pretty decent at drifting in games. So between this and that, then we go to the grail of that collection, which is the first one. It's nice to see a hard copy 360 version of the game, which is the only game I've ever actually completed and gotten every platinum on. Every trophy, every achievement. So you only get achievements for taking out Blacklist members. No specific ones at that. So, is it specific ones? Or is it their value? I'd have to look. I'd have to double check what the achievement actually was, what it counted for, but in terms of points, it's the only game I've ever completed that way. Ever. And this is one they introduced that really made the BMW M3. I think it was the E386. What was it called? NFS Most Wanted 5 BMW M3G. Okay, yeah, M3 GTR GT E46. And we got the less popular version of the game. And it does not feature any of those things. It is barely Most Wanted in title. But it is not a bad racing game in terms of physics and gameplay. It's a nice little hybrid between Burnout and Need for Speed, with a lot more of a free roamy element to it. So I mean, it was still fun. So that's kind of like my Need for Speed collection for Xbox that is basically complete. I think I have. I want to get Shift, and I have Pro Street, and I have the Run. So like I've got the entire collection for the most part. Now this one you heard mention of in one of my videos for when we were doing the game replacements. My friend Total Level there actually, as a Christmas gift, because I had gotten him a gift, he didn't realize I was getting him a gift. So when I picked him up for that first gaming adventure him and I went on that wasn't really on video for me, I bought him just like a little gift card. So he actually got me this, which I mean the trade off on that was crazy. I appreciated it like completely because this was one of the games I was looking for, Spider-Man: Edge of Time, and you know, you get to play as like a series of what it looks like different Spider-Man. That's one of the most interesting playing because I know literally nothing about this one. So like Web of Shadows was kind of like you see like all the Marvel characters. It plays very much like Spider-Man from like Spider-Man 3 and 2. And then you've got Shattered Dimensions, I think it's called. Yeah, Shattered Dimensions, where you play as multiple different Spider-Man and they all play differently. Then obviously Spider-Man 3, and then I'm still going to be getting Spider-Man Ultimate. It's the only one I'm missing. And you know, I had a chance to buy it the other day, and I didn't take it. But that one hasn't been particularly difficult to find. But it is hilarious how No Way Home jacked up the price of every single Spider-Man game in existence. I don't know what the fuck's that about. Tony Hawk Project 8. Now, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing because a lot of the Tony Hawk games after Underground and Underground 2, I think American Wasteland was pretty good, but like after those 3 games, like it was kind of bad because they use like mission-based gameplay to get you into stuff. I mean, from what I did play of this one back in the day, because I think I played it on PlayStation, and it was like bought out of the Walmart discount bin, and it was good. It's not a bad game at all. I mean, a lot of the Tony Hawk games, like there's some hit or miss titles. Like 5 was apparently terrible. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason it was terrible. Skate, kind of keeping to a theme here, it seems, but Skate 3, I did not play much of the Skate series, so it was kind of cool to see something in the dollar or in our Value Village for only like $5. It's always cool to collect games from there because there's a lot of titles that you can pick up that you're like you never thought you'd be collecting them there. Far Cry 2, we own most of the Far Cries. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure we do. Oh, hey, there's American Wasteland. Huh. Anyways, so yeah, Far Cry 2, kind of been working on collecting these guys in their original formats. So we'll be collecting Far Cry 3 as soon as we can find an okay copy of it. I do want it on the 360 because, I mean, I've always played Far Cry on Xbox. I've never really played it on PlayStation. I've played a little bit on PC because I've got New Dawn on PC and 3. But I want a physical copy for the physical collection. Dead to Rights Retribution. Dead to Rights Retribution, I mean, I really liked the first one. I remember doing the stripper minigame in my living room when I was like 14. And it is definitely one of those your parents walked in on you moments. What the hell are you doing? I'm pressing buttons, Mom. If I press the A, she'll spin on the pole. I don't know. That was basically how that went, and it was like extremely inappropriate, but it was still really funny because the combat was good, really hard. Like it was not an easy game by any stretch. Borderlands. I own all the other games on the 360, or sorry, on the Xbox Series X. So I've got like the Handsome Collection and 3. I've had 3 since launch, and I still haven't played it. But this is a good game when you want to jump in on co-op because it's one of the few games that supported couch co-op still. Like they still let you run around and jump around and stuff on split screen. It was nice, and it's kind of sad to see that be like a dying thing. This was actually technically part of part one for gaming pickups, but I forgot about it because I had put it with the other games of that type. So, Jersey Devil, one of my first ever PlayStation platforms that wasn't Pandemonium. So, first one I ever played for that game was either Pandemonium or The Lost World. Two games that I really do enjoy, but Jersey Devil was like you could jump around, fly around, beat up enemy creatures and stuff like that. It was very much your traditional platformer, just with a much darker theme to it, so it kind of almost gave me medieval vibes before medieval was big. Dragon Warrior Original. It's kind of cool to see Dragon Warrior Classic and being able to play it. It was the first RPG I ever actually got into. I played Dragon Warrior 3 and what was it? Adventures of Link, kind of side by side. I played both of them alongside each other, and I've actually never played the first one, so it's kind of nice to grab that one and put it on the list. So we'll be hunting out 2 and 3 and 4 at one point or another for that system. It's amazing how fast they pump them out, by the way. Maybe RPGs are just easy to code or something. I don't know. So there you have it. That's our gaming pickup video. So we're kind of caught up. The next, when we have some new stuff to show you guys, we'll stack it up and do a video for you. You can feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and throw your likes, follow, subscribe in all the right places. If you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube because that's where these go at first. You can find me on YouTube, PyTera_74, over on Twitch, PyTera_74. That's where all our live streams go for our weekly streams, which is upcoming. We have PC, so that'll be on both at the same time, but if it's a console stream, it only goes to one, and then we have to port it over to the other. So, anyways, thank you for checking out the stream space. I will see you guys next time, and check out our Lightning Collection videos. They're coming. They're next. Bye.